instructional video, we're going to take a look at terminating an LC connector on our field installable fiber optic kit. The kit part number is an FI-4270, and then we have all the multiple connectors that can be terminated with this kit. We have ST, SC, and LC. So we're going to take a look at our LC connectors. The LC connector is a small form factor connector, and it's a lot smaller ferrule than an SC connector. But a lot of broadcast installations, a lot of data installations, applications are starting now to move towards an LC connector. In fact, even on some fire alarm panels, they're moving to an LC connector just because of the size, and you can put multiple LC connectors in a small area. So the LC connector, fairly small, and we have these available in 62.5, 50 micron, 50 micron OM3 for laser optimized, and also single mode. The black color connector just indicates that it is an OM2 or a 50 micron. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that our tool is set up, and this is our visual fault finder tool that we need to push into the back of our handheld device. We'll just turn on the tool and just simply push this down into the back or the bottom of the tool just to hold that device. Once that's installed, we'll take out our LC adapter, and we want to take off the dust cap boot, and we want to fit the adapter into the tool, the handheld tool, with this slanted end towards the back of the tool. So we'll fit that into the tool. Now we'll take an LC to SC adapter that will feed the SC part into the visual fault finder, and then we'll fit the LC into the adapter. Okay, so we have a lot of light coming through the adapter. Next thing we do is we'll take the connector, the LC connector, and it will have a dust cap boot on it, so we want to remove the dust cap boot and turn it upside down, and there's going to be a window. We want that window to be facing up. Now this connector, just like all of our field connectors, have an activation tab. By pushing it forward, closes the internal crimp. By pushing it back, opens it up. So we're going to push that forward and load it into the connector. Now we're going to take our piece of fiber and we're going to load our boot onto it. Now we're just going to simply start stripping the buffer and the coating off of this, and this is our stripping tool. And we'll take the last hole in the stripping tool, and at 1/4 inch at a time, we want to take off the coating and the buffer. So 1/4 inch of stripping at a time, until we reach about 1.5 inches of stripped fiber down to bare glass. So we want to get down to the bare glass when we strip this. So we've stripped that, and we have it down to bare glass, and you'll notice there's some coating still left on here. We want to take an alcohol wipe and just simply wipe that clean. So this is a key point, is we need to get to bare glass, and we stripped about 1.5 inches of the coating and the buffer off the optical fiber. Once we've done that, we'll get our cleaving tool out, and our cleaving tool is a spring-loaded device, which is spring-loaded. We load the fiber into it, it holds the fiber, And we need to go to an 8mm mark on our buffer, or our blue part of the fiber. So we're going to load it into a V groove until it hits 8mm on the buffer. So the buffer now is located right at 8mm, or 8 on our tool. The tool again is spring loaded, so it holds the fiber. We'll line it up into the V grooves, put a little bit of pressure back with your thumb, and push down with the blade. And just snap the back of the tool. Now this cleaves our fiber at 8mm, which is perfect for us to load into the connector. The next step is to take our sheet out here, and this sheet allows us to lay the fiber down to scale and mark it at 13mm. Now all this does is it gives us a visual indicator when we're loading the fiber into the connector that we're going far enough into the connector. So we'll lay that down and mark it at 13mm. And now we can load the stripped and cleaved fiber and marked fiber into the tool, or into our connector. The easiest way to do this is kind of hold the tool in this direction. If you're right-handed, take the fiber and just start loading it into the connector. And once you start seeing some light go away, you'll take your fingernail and just push back on that activation tab. Once you see no light coming through the window after you have closed the internal crimp, we know now that we have a really good connection internally in that connector. Once that's done, we can just take our boot and slide our boot onto the LC, back of the LC connector. We can take a look at the end of this fiber, and we see that the light is now coming through the end of the fiber. We have a really good connection there. Once we're done with that, we can unload the connector from the tool and take an alcohol wipe and wipe the end of the ferrule. And the reason is because your hands have oil, have dirt, and if your fingers or anything get on the end of the ferrule, it will leave a residue of that dirt and oil on the end of the ferrule. So anytime before we put our dust cap boot on, or before we plug it into our system, make sure that you clean the end of the ferrule. It's extremely important. I've cleaned that, and now I can just load my boot, my dust cap boot, back onto the end of it, or put it into the system. And that is the termination of our LC style connectors for our field installable kit. If you're looking for more information on our cables, accessories, system components, or active equipment, please visit our website at www.westpenn-wpw.com. Thank you.